Let's take a look at the quote of the day. It says, healing comes in waves. Some days you will drown, and on others you will float. On some days you will feel broken, and on other days feel renewed. So be patient with yourself. I'm going to read that again. Healing comes in waves. Some days you will drown, and on other days you will float. On some days you will feel broken, and on other days you will feel renewed. So be patient with yourself, even when you're going through this waves of life, when you're feeling like you're drowning, when you're feeling like you're broken, when you're feeling like you want to give up. You need to be patient with yourself, because healing comes in different portions. And our very first guest in studio today, this is her story, that she has gone through everything. I think everything that a young adult, a teenager could actually go through, and she was patient with herself and she listened to herself, and she's here today to share her story with us. Owning her story is Damaris Kimani. Welcome to the show. Good to see you again, and thank you for coming back.
Good to see you too.
Unajua wengine wangesema mkutaka nimalize story yangu kwa hivyo sifanyi. Siji.
Nakwambia, and you know the traffic on social media, it was crazy.
What
was like, why you know ngeongezewa time?
You know.
But now finally I'm here again.
Please, and I hope uliwaambia so that they can tune in.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I did inform them. Yes.
Welcome back. And I know it's not easy to every time talk about this, and to think that you did this on Friday and you have to do it again today.
Yeah,
it might not be easy, but just look at it from the perspective of you were helping somebody, encouraging someone, and showing them there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
So do you want to take us to the beginning?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Here we go.
So I'll introduce myself again.
Yes.
So to everyone who is watching me, my name is Damaris Kimani, and from a family of 4, I'm the second born. I am a gospel minister, events personnel. I'm also a CEO, Most Loved initiative that deals with the less fortunate in the society, and also an inspirational speaker to the young. That is Damaris Kimani. Yay. And so, to start off the story once again, I remember back when I was a kid at around class 4, we used to live in a place called Umoja, because that is where I was born and grew until I reached class 4. And so we were one happy family, full of health, full of happiness, and everything that a family requires.
Yes.
But now it reached a point, my dad started being so alcoholic. And I remember that particular time he was working as a driver in a certain circle ya Umoja, ilikuwa inaitwa Comrade. But now it reached a point whereby venye alikuja akaanza kuwa mlevi sana, alikuja akavutwa kazi because he used to wake up so late, ana saa zingine ako too so messy, you know, and so the circle couldn't be able to hold him anymore, so he was chased out of work. And so from there he began now being so rude even to us, because I think he was going through a lot of frustration since he's not at work. And now this him now being an alcoholic person, ikakuja ika destroy now our relationship, him now together with the mom and the siblings, because every time he was coming at home, he began being so violent to us.
Even the kids?
Yes, even the kids, specifically me and mom. And so it reached a point, because I remember that particular time, mom alikuwa anafanya kazi ya kuuza githeri, kuuza ngwa. She used to wake up very early in the morning to prepare all that. But now I remember it was one night my dad came home so late. It was around, I think, 2 p.m. And I remember myself, I used to sleep late and unisaidie mom kudondoa hizo mahindi and all that to prepare just for tomorrow. And I remember this day my dad was knocking at the gate na hatukuwa tumeona kifungua. I don't know, we had misplaced the keys. And now, kwa sababu tulikuwa tunajua sasa ni vita ingine inakuja, we had to wake up the neighbor at that particular time. At least atusaidie na kifunguo, because he knew akiingia hapa it is violent mpaka asubuhi. So we borrowed the kifunguo, we went and opened the gate. So when he came, he immediately started fighting. Mbona mnakataa kunifungulia gate, mnataka niuliwe huko nje, nini. So akaanza kuchapa mom. And I remember every time my mom alikuwa anachapwa, sikuwa nataka kusikia akilia. I used to run away, naenda najificha na block masikio, or even go to a neighbor's place na najifuni. I just hate it. Nilikuwa nachukia nikisikia mama akilia. And because your time tulikuwa tumeprepare mahindi, maharagwe, nini, dad akakuwa so violent, akachapa mom, and he took everything we had prepared, akamwaga nje. The mahindi, the maharagwe, mom used to buy things in stock. I remember mpaka makaa. Akachukua mafuta ya stove and akaenda akalight up hiyo gunia, the whole gunia.
What?
Yes, outside. And that one night, kazi ya mom ikakuja ikaharibika with that one night, and that was the end of it. Ali destroy everything back at those nyungu, he destroyed everything kabisa kabisa.
Oh,
and now ikafika mahali sasa life ikaanza kuwa ngumu, because you see now since hakuwa job, this small business that mom used to have was the one which was supporting us,
yes,
because it was doing good by that particular time.
Yeah.
But now that one night it was the end of it. And so after hapo life ikaanza kuwa ngumu, and I remember even house rent was a problem. Ikafika mahali this woman, the landlady, akasema now sasa juu imefika mahali you guys have arrears, I think I'll have to chase you away if you're not going to make any payments.
Yeah. And
it was so hard because surely hakukuwa na place yenye pesa ingepatikana. And I remember that time our last born was very little. So ikafika mahali the landlady sent some guys wakuja watu vitu, and that time I remember my dad was not even around. Alikuwa tu anaenda kama kawaida anarudi usiku. And it was very tough. Now ile aibu, I know if someone has experienced kufukuzwa kwa nyumba ama kutolewa vitu, you know how shameful that is.
I know,
and
in front of your friends.
Imagine. So those guys came, wakatoa vitu nje. It was very bad because we had no hata a shilling. Hatukuwa hata na shilingi moja. It was that particular point of where do we go from now? Where do we start to have this small baby with us, you see? And I remember mom trying to make some communications to see if we can get somewhere we can be accommodated. And I remember she talked to her sister who lives in Ruai, and she was okay with it. So we borrowed transport to a neighbor there, akatusaidia. Tukaenda tukachukua gari and went to the sister's place. So when we went there, you know,
na mizigo.
But we left, tulibeba tu nguo.
Oh, nguo alafu mizigo mkawacha. So mkaenda sasa kwa auntie yako.
Yeah.
That's your auntie right now.
Yes.
We're going to take a short commercial break. We will be right back. Damaris is going to be in studio, so don't go too far. This is Full Circle with Mwikali. Welcome back to Full Circle with Mwikali. A very good morning to you. Let us know where you're watching us from. 111 Remember, we're giving away 2 outfits to 2 gorgeous ladies. All you need to do is follow Bit Nowhere KE on Instagram and Facebook. Follow them and then tell us why you need to be dressed for Valentine's Day, okay? Switch TV KE on Instagram is our handle. Switch TV Kenya on Facebook. In studio, we have Damaris. She was here on Friday owning her story and telling us how she grew up and where she's gotten to. We didn't finish this story on Friday, but today we intend to.
Yes.
So Menda Rwai kwa auntie.
Yes.
You've left everything, just your clothes.
Yes.
Do you go with dad at this point? Ama dad sasa.
At that particular point, we tried to reach him out, but he wasn't anywhere to be found. The phone, ikafika mahali, he switched off his phone. So when we went and we stayed to the sister's place, my auntie, it was a lot of burden, yani, because akona kids and us too, you know. So we reached a point where my mom had to look for transport so that we can go to Ushago. We start life there, of which it happened. So we went to Ushago and we started over again. Nikatafutiwa shule. So I schooled at Ushago for like almost a year and a half. And after some time now, my dad was nowhere to be found. Akakuja all of a sudden, and he was so apologetic, of which mom alikuja akamforgive, akasema ni sawa, tuta accept kurudi. So time yenye tulirudi sasa kwake, it's when we found that kumbe alienda Umoja, and now he shifted things to Kayole, and that's where our life started now in Kayole. So
Says you go class?
I think ilikuwa class 5, 6, nilikuwa nenda 6 hapo ya. So venye tulikuwa huko, life ikaanza tena. We were living that small cubicle. I used to call them cubes, the single rooms, because they were so small and squeezed. So we started life over again there. And it reached a place whereby now my dad started buying things, because we never used to have a lot of furnitures. So we never used to have a TV for long. Akanunua TV, akanunua cupboard, VT, because we never used to have one. And we now wondering where these things coming from, and yet he has not informed us kama kuna job yenye amepata.
Hajarudi bado kuwa driver.
No, hajarudi kwa alitoka kabisa. But for us, we felt, hey, life is changing. So we were very comfortable, and we never mind asking where is the money coming from. So tukatoka hiyo single room, because now things zilikuwa zinajaza na kwa nyumba, tukenda double room. From a double room to a self-contained. So the relationship now was getting better, and now everything was getting better in our lives. But ikafika mahali, vitu zikaanza kuwa a bit different. We started having rumors that you know, my dad is called Kimani. Kaanza kusikia, hey, you know, Kimani, there is this certain group that is working with, that is hanging up with, that is not good, inajulikana. And now you're wondering what group, ni group ya wezi, and ni wezi wako na guns. That was very hard for us to believe, because we were like, hey, you guys, when you see people succeeding, you start coming up with stories. So you stay with it. Hatutaki kusikia. Wacha sisi
tuko tu sawa.
Yeah.
Tuko kwa self-contained.
I tell you. But now it was too much, because we're going to feel now these rumors are too much. We have to take caution of it. So one guy came and told us, there is this club that he loves going to. Na huwa wanakesha huko asubuhi wakikunywa. I want you to take a step. One day kuja tu peep uone ndio ukubali kitu yenye nakwambia. So one morning we went with mom and we peeped and we saw, yes, I say kuna venye wao hang out, but we weren't sure. Yes, tunaona, but you know, we are not seeing the gun, so we are not sure about that.
Plus, this is your father.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tukaendelea hivyo, and then it reached a point whereby this one day we were told to prepare. My dad is coming with visitors. We were very excited. Mama kanambia endea hii, you know, wageni wanakuja. You know, hatukujua ni what type of wageni are coming. So I remember after preparing everything, and now we are waiting for the guests to come. My dad comes in with a couple of friends and one lady. And so my dad akaanza kufanya introduction, akasema, so guys, I want you to respect this woman, and from today ni mama yenyu mdogo, she's your second mom. You know, she's my second wife.
After mmepika yote hiyo yenyu.
Imagine after nimekimbia hiyo kona nikiendea mahindi. And the mom was using all her energy there. Kumbe ana use all her energy to cook for the second wife.
Goodness.
So it was very tough for her, because I remember that day she just walked away and went. Me, I was there wondering, okay, now what is happening? Okay, that was so fast, you know. And since we were bado si ni wadogo, anything that the father says we just accept, and that was it. So we accepted her and we respected her. And from there, I remember that is when my dad started drawing now away from us, because now alikuja kaenda kabisa, na now he started living now with the second wife.
Yeah.
So we were just living by ourselves, and but at least he was doing, he was taking responsibilities, was catering for everything that we needed, even the house rent. But now it reached a point whereby this thing ikaanza kuwa serious, and we took it now with seriousness about my dad being in that gang.
Yeah.
And after now some time, that is when my mom now sat me down, akaniambia, now this is what is happening, and I want you to be aware, so that in case of anything happens, you have the information.
Yeah.
It was very hard for me to accept, because I was like, okay, from a driver, yani, because every time now I used to see my dad, you picture him differently. You know, like, guys, sasa anafanya, you know, unazamaka kwa ile kuogopa.
Yeah.
But now, from my younger siblings, we used to hide from them, because there was a time that my dad used to go for those missions, and wanaenda exile even for 2 months, 1 month, and he's not aware, he's not anywhere to be found. And now maybe my siblings are asking for him every time. So we used to lie to them, dad alienda job Sudan, and communication is a bit tricky, but anytime he calls, tuwapatia simu mungene, because they used to miss him, because the relationship they had.
Yeah.
So for me, I remember now that particular time nilikuwa naendelea, and I was around class 7, now going to class 8. And at that particular point, I remember now my mom was telling me, since your dad anapata do, can you start telling him that we need an account, ama nifungulia account, nianze kusave pole pole, so that anytime utakuja kumaliza class 8, hauta struggle, because he's getting a lot of money. So I started approaching dad, but dad akaanza kuwa mhash, ananiambia, hey, hii pesa, wewe tu jamaliza class 8, ushaanza kunipanga, si umalize kwanza, then we start planning that. Nikamwambia, unajua tu nilikuwa nafikiria nipo ukifungulia mama account, so that we don't get stuck, you see. But now, in real estate, mom was preparing me, so that in case of, you know, hii kazi huwezi jua, unaweza enda ukose kurudi. That is what my mom was preparing me for. But now my dad was, yani alikuwa tu yeye, he was too bossy. You don't tell me what to do. So nikaanza kukulegeza, kushinda nikimuinsistia hiyo kitu. And now nikakuja nikafika class 8, and I'm almost now approaching to finish, so that I can get to form 1. But now there, my dad akaanza kunichukulia, yani anytime I used to ask anything from him, he was not there completely. The relationship was destroyed. I think it's because of the other relationship that he had. So alikuwa anaona sisi kama watoto wake, we are nobody. And from hapo nikaanza kuget hiyo pressure, like, why is this happening to me? Mbona mimi? Why us as a family? You see, anytime anakuja home, anakuja tu kutuchapa. Like, angekuja tu, there is nothing he has come to do. Anaweza kuja tu, mbona hiki tu yuko hapa? Mbona hajakuwa akikaa huko, you know, mbona hiki tu yuko hapa? Then when you answer it, inakuwa ni vita. I remember there was a time I was heated so hard like a man because of a bulb. There was a time
Bulb
alikuja tu
ilifanya?
alikuwa ameka bulb all rooms na si ati each and every room bulb ilikuwa inawaka different, they were all zilikuwa zinawaka the same, but now he came akaenda kwa bedroom akauliza mbona hii bulb nani alichange. Nikamwambia mi remember the last time you were here ulieka bulb zote zikifanana, and personally mi naogopa stima, I cannot even change a bulb, you know. Akaniambia why mbona unanibeba ujinga, unafikiri mimi sijui? And I'm like guy, hizi bulb si ati inawaka yellow inawaka green, zote ni the same na si ati imechomeka ama there is something that has happened. So I remember that day he locked that bedroom. I was hit, nilipigwa ngumi, nilipigwa, and I remember I was even was bleeding. But ile time alikuwa anatafuta something hard to hit me with, nikafungua bedroom nikakimbia sitting. Nikamwambia mom, ona baba tena ameanza kunichapa. That time I remember mom was so mad. Akamwambia acha nikwambie, there is no way utakuwa unatoka tu huko kwenye unatoka. Every time you come here, we will not have peace. Ni vita kila saa, you know. And it was chaos that time. So nikaanza kuwa na ile my dad I think ananichukia, so I started comforting myself into some things that were negative. So I started doing alcohol at that age, nikaanza kukunywa makali.
Sasa uko na do ya alcohol
40 bob, that is aziko expensive, ni hizi pombe za wana. Nikaanza kunywa nusu ilikuwa 40 bob, full 80.
Okay.
So nikakuja nikashikana with this particular company because now nilianza ku get lost completely. You see, that is where I was trying to find comfort.
Yeah.
So I started doing drugs, nika graduate from alcohol to bang, kuchana, kwenda club, you know, raving. Nikakuwa bad news kabisa. Nilikuwa na kasi juu aje that particular point.
Yeah.
And so nikakuja nikamaliza class 8. Kumaliza class 8 ndio mimi nafika wakati wa kuingia form 1. My dad now akaanza sasa anaanza kupotea at this particular time that we really need him the most.
Yeah.
But in between there, remember this self-contained, wakati alikuwa anaenda kabisa ilifika mahali akaacha kuplay responsibility. Yeah. And so house ilikuwa 9,000 at that particular point, mom hayuko job, you know. And I remember even that particular time, hatukuwa na peace because a lot of times the CID used to be around our home. Like, hey, tunasikia Kimani alikuwa hapa, can you provide him for us? Because, you know, it was just a lot. Because a lot of missions they used to go, wangekuwa wanaenda akungekosa mtu mmoja amekufa, you know, maybe he has been shot or something has just happened. So anytime they used to run away, they used to find details, tunatafuta. So hatukuwa na amani kabisa. That one I won't lie. And so for me, nilianza ile kuogopa kabisa, and I felt like now our lives are in the hands of, you know, the government. Tunatafutwa tu hivi. You could not even trust anyone at that particular point. And so venye nilikuja time yangu ya kuingia form 1 imefika, my dad is nowhere to be found. Kukanza sasa kuwa na a lot of things were happening at that particular point. I'm trying to call him. I'm trying even to reach the second wife just to tell him, tell her, please just talk to him and anisimamie hivi na hivi. But it was a bit hard. So I remember mom had to use ilibidi ameuza vitu za hao, the furnitures, mpaka mattress, so that we can be able to move to somewhere else cheaper, because huku hakuna house rent and my dad is nowhere to be found. So we went to a place called Matopeni. Tukaenda huko kutafuta nyumba yenye ni a bit cheaper, around 2,000. And so tukapata nyumba moja. And I was telling mom this point at unajua sasa huku hivi security ni mbaya, alafu watu yuko kuruka shule itakuaje. Akasema wao alikuwa ananiambia, you know, hakuna place where stay when you're going through troubles, you know. You just have to cooperate with the situation. And so I accepted because at that particular point nilikuwa najua ku live life the hardest way, and survival for the fittest. And so we went, and on our way back we passed through somewhere called Kayole 1. We found another house, same price. Nikamwambia mom, this one is a bit better and it's open, unaona. So we decided to stay there. So we moved at that particular jioni, and life ikaanza tena zero.
Yeah.
So
saizi uendi shule, form 1 uko home.
Niko home.
Mama ko job kweli?
Ayuko job at that particular point. So when tulienda kwa hiyo single room, we started over again, and mom was saying, afadhali kuwa na mahali kuna amani, hausumbuliwi na mtu, you're just at peace. So let us just cooperate and live with whatever we have. And for us, we were okay with it. And so I remember that point, it was after a long time now. First time imekuja imesha na tumeingia second term. So that particular point, Dama is gangster. Dama ni dema na katu sijui aje, yani
karebol fulani. Had you made peace with the fact that you're not going to go to school? Ulikuwa give up?
Yeah, for real I had already given up, because mimi nilikuwa naona sasa sina future. My mom is not in a position to help. Nobody in the family is interested to do this or that, you know. That is when you know the real people, yani. And so it was hard for me, and ikafika mahali since my dad is nowhere to be found, Dama every time either kama siko kwa club niko mahali na chana ama niko mahali tu na kata maji vibaya sana. So it was hard for me. And I remember ikafika mahali my dad akaanza kututafuta kujua ni wapi tulihamia, because penye tulikuwa tunaishi kwa self contained and where tulikuwa tumeshift it wasn't far, it was just like a walking distance. So one day he comes in and nikampata, was excited, I thought hii ni school fees imekuja, but kumbe tu alikuja kusurvey. So hiyo time alikuja na kiburi mingi ati mnaishi aje hapa, how are you guys surviving in this place, you know?
Yeah.
That was Kimani for you. How? Yeah, that was Kimani for you by then. But tukamwambia, you know, we are still tuna survive too because life hapa ndio imetufikisha, you know. And when I asked about school fees, there was this guy like ninyi ndio mtaniambia venye nitafanya, you just be patient. Already first time imeisha, this is second term and you're telling me to be patient. Nikakuwa like it's okay. So ikafika mahali mama kaanza kuniambia, now sisi itabidi umeenda day school because me I won't hata sasa nikaanza kutafuta sita afford wewe kwenda boarding school because hapo ndio situation imetufikisha. Nikamwambia kama ni hivyo basi haina shida, but now hata nikiagree hakuna hiyo pesa tutaanzia wapi? So mama kaanza kufulia watu manguo, but again si ati analipwa 2000 or 5000, it's 300 ikienda sana 500. Hii pesa ni rent utaeka ama ni chakula utanunua, as in what are you going to do with this money, you see? So it was very tough. And just to cut the long story short, I remember it reached a point whereby mama Kizu akitembea tu akienda kufulia wasema nguo, she met along with this friend of hers wa kitambo and they were trying to catch up. Hey, wewe uliendanga wapi, what are you doing now? So the lady told mom, me niliolewa na mzungu, we live at Komarok nini, and so mom was sharing her life story kidogo. And so this woman said, I can help you guys but in one condition. If only you and your daughter mkuje mnifanyie kazi kama maids kwangu, and instead of paying you in cash, I'll pay through school fees, unaona, for her to start school. At that particular time, that time ilikuwa sasa ishafika. So that's almost a whole year wasted.
Yes.
So mama akasema ni sawa, ina shida. It was very hard for her to come and to approach me because alikuwa anashindwa, how am I going to take it?
My own daughter to go be a housemaid so that she can be able. So ukienda shule unarudi jioni kosha vyombo hivyo.
Yes, that tulikuwa na change hivyo shifts na mom. So mama akifanya yeye asubuhi anakuja, because me I used to sleep to that woman. So mama akikuja fanya shift yake, mimi nikitoka shule, before I do anything else, penye aliachia I continue. Asubuhi na rauka
watoto.
Yes. So ikafika mahali, it was one Saturday we were doing a general cleaning and this woman akakuja tu from nowhere, 10,000 yangu imepotea, ilikuwa hapo kwa kibeti. So mama, unajua vile tutakuwa ilikuwa wapi exactly, juu sisi ndo tumefanya general cleaning kila mahali. So kumuuliza tu akakuwa tu na ile bitterness. So what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that my kids are the one who have stolen the money? Tukasema no, that is hatujasema hivyo, but tunatry tu kuuliza ni wapi, ama unaweza kuuliza how maybe uli misplace, you know. But this woman was like, hapana, mimi hii nyumba ijaibiwa pesa. It was hard for us.
Was that the end of you guys working there and your school?
It was the end of it because mama alisema sasa, I think ukiwa na shida sijui unabebangwa kama nini, just go pack your clothes, let us go to penye tumezoea. From hapo Mungu atajua what will happen next.
That is that time ilisha.
Hata I remember niliingia watu akifanya exam ya kuingia the next class.
Ulifanya
so
exam.
Nilionja tu shule.
And
then nikatoka. And that was the end of it.
Yes.
So when we went back home, I remember mama akakuja akakuwa na blood pressure and she was very sick. She was lying in the bed, not doing anything, not going anywhere because miguu zilikuwa zimefura. So that particular point, I was the mother of the house.
Did dad ever come back?
No. Aqua anywhere to be found. And I remember this time when mom was sick, because the guys whom we used to smoke weed with, I used to rush to them every time. Now wambia, please, unaweza nisaidia 20 bob, unaweza nisaidia 100 shillings because you are at this situation. Maybe a refund or just help me out. Naenda nakata hiyo pesa. 20 bob unga kupima, 20 bob mafuta ya stove, hivyo. Ugali skuma was our daily meal. Ugali nyanya, that was our daily meal. And I remember there was this particular point when I was hustling hard. I remember there was a point mom reached and she was not like, alikuwa ananiambia, me, I am going. point yenye nimefika, she sat me down akaniambia, Dama, from today nataka usiwai sahau sister zako, usiwai sahau brother zako, anytime you'll succeed. Mahali nimefika miguu zangu yani na anasikia, cause he was even alikuwa na vomit damu. Akaniambia take care of your nini, and it was very hard for me Mwikali. I remember that day nilikimbia nikaenda kwa balcony nikasema, God, you're not going to take my mom as a witness. Take her away if I'm here, lakini I'm not going to witness. I'm being
told my time is running out again. My God, we need like a whole day to do this, and this is exactly almost the same point we got at.
Yes.
But I remember last time ulituambia there's a time dad came with a lot of money.
Yes.
And just put a lot of money on the table. Akasema ndio hiyo pesa.
I go do prostitution,
do whatever, and then he carried all the money again.
Yes.
And left you with no school fees.
Yes. And that is where depression comes in. That's where suicidal thoughts comes in. I was in that particular point. And just to cut the long story short, the good thing is God ali come through. Nikakuja nikaingia high school. And I remember immediately after dad told me that, hakukaa sana by the way, because I remember mom prayed for that incident. Kidogo tukasikia alishikwa, kwanza alichapwa mob justice before he was arrested, because alikuja akakuwa wanted.
Yes.
And then he was arrested, he was taken to Eldoret prison. After Eldoret prison, he was transferred to Kamiti. And now 2015 is when my transformation came. That is when I got saved. And
in high school?
Yes, in high school.
How are you paying school fees at this point? Sorry to take you back.
We started, tulikuwa involved na, tulikuwa connected na vitu kama bursaries.
Okay.
Mama, yeah. Okay. So I remember when I got saved at Nikki, because I think that was my transformation point, because it was very easy for me even to drop everything that I was using and everything that I was doing. I remember at my prayer days and my fasting days, anytime I used to pray, there was this voice used to come and tell me, you need to forgive your dad, you need to forgive your dad. Anytime ilikuwa inakuja, nilikuwa nakataa kuomba, nasema no way, that is the last thing I'll ever do. Me everything I pray for, yani mtu akufe tu, I don't want to see him in my life, because hakuna difference ya kusema niko na baba na alikufa. That is where I was. But now Mwikali, even sleeping ilikuwa inani hunt, ilikuwa inaniacha, you need to forgive your dad. And I remember there was this particular point I was praying, and when it came, nikasema, God, if this is your will, let your will be done. I won't be shana with you. I have decided to forgive him. And once I just mentioned that, I started crying. Nililia. And I remember at school I called my mom, nikambia, Mom, this is the decision that I've made today. I've decided to forgive my dad. Mom, alikuwa uko na wazimu wewe. Do you know what you're saying? Do you know what this man has made you gone through? Nikasema, Mom, you know, say me, I'm different. I'm a newborn, so just accept whatever I'm telling you.
Does he know that you forgave him?
Yes, I even went to Kamiti. I told Mom, you're going to take me there. I want to go and tell him face to face myself.
I have forgiven you.
Yes.
Is he still incarcerated? He's out now?
He's still there.
Okay.
So we went there, and it wasn't easy, because the moment nilisimama kwa hiyo gate ya Kamiti, ili niletea memories hizo zote. I was crying all through nikitembea. And now the toughest moment is when I was now seeing him through that window.
Yeah.
And he was very excited, because I think already God had already even started his transformation life akiwa tu uko ndani. And he was like, hey, I'm so rudi uko nyuma, I want to see you, because ilikuwa a bit longer since anione. Ananiambia, hey, guy, ni wewe aki unakaa poa nini, koza kuniacha nikiwa hivyo. And it was very hard for me to bring out those words like, I've forgiven you. You know, God akikuleta hapa kulikuwa na purpose. All of your friends, because all of his friends wote wako kwa mchanga, they died.
And is this where the foundation that you have was birthed?
Yes, because through that journey I learned a lot, that you should not judge people, and that's why my initiative came up of dealing with the less fortunate. Don't ever judge someone. If you see that person ako kwa streets, if you see that person doing prostitution, ama ukiona huyo mtu ni maid, if you have not sat them down and ask them, why did you end up here? That is one of the lessons I learned. So you talk
to them, you encourage them, and you empower them to just show them it's okay.
Yes.
This is your journey.
Yes.
And be patient with yourself.
Yes.
And allow God to probably minister.
Yes.
And take control. Dama.
Finally
today, at least tumefika mahali. Tupatie kabla tuende. You have a new jam.
Yes.
Kindly just give us a tiny bit of, the inspiration behind it.
Yes.
Before we go on a break, we'll go on a break with your song.
Okay, yeah, sure. So Furahia is my new song. For anyone who has not checked it up, end up on YouTube, Damaris Kimani TV, you will see it. I just dropped it 2 weeks ago. Furahia is a song that I love so much, and it's a song that is actually to encourage each and every one of us that you have all the reasons to be happy, you have all the reasons to be thankful.
Oh, yeah.
And instead, do not just sit there, relax, and just expect to God atakuja kwambia, hey, mwikali.
Nope, you have to do the job.
You have to ask, you have
Yes.
to seek, you have to
Yes.
knock. Let us just do according to his word.
Okay.
Don't just be patient then to expect miracles to happen. You
That
have
won't
to
happen.
do something. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Damaris, for coming
You're
through.
welcome.
Nasema Mwikali, wow, Damaris alituacha hanging. Now you're here, girl. I just love how brave and strong you came to be. Nancy from Muranga, why I support you and feel you. Growing up in a certain environment is not a joke. I myself is in a slum ghetto and I'm entering those shoes of the situation you're in. Dan Mokorino wa Kiandutu Dhika. Thank you for that. Mwikali, what Damai is saying is true. We were once there and mom passed through the same accusation. Mtu akiwa na shida, there's nothing you can't be told or done to. It is the sad, sad truth. Thank you. God bless you, Dama. Keep sharing
welcome.
your story.
Yes.
And yes, forgiveness.
Yes, forgiveness. is
Difficult,
power.
but somehow we have to get around to doing it. This is Full Circle with Mikali. We're taking a very short commercial break. We will be right back. Don't go too far.